Welcome to the Win Daily Show. I am Sia Najad. I'm here with the Win Daily founder, Jason Mizrahi. We've got Michael Raziel doing the producing, and who cares about us, right? We've got Robert Griffin III with us. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Pleasure to be on with you guys. Appreciate you having me.
Awesome, man. So listen, Robert, one of the main things that we brought you on for is to talk about your foundation, of course, the RG3 Foundation, which everybody can find on Twitter, on Facebook, and a lot of other channels and platforms. But I'll tell you what, it's interesting timing today because a lot of stuff has happened. There's stuff happening in Wisconsin, obviously. And I know just from, being a follower of you on Twitter and other social platforms that you are you speak out on social justice and reform and things of that nature. So I thought, okay, we'll talk about your foundation in a second, if that's okay with you. I just kind of want to get your reaction to what's going on today.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to just call it what it is, right? You see a lot of sports getting canceled. A lot of games aren't being played because athletes are realizing the platform that they have and utilizing that. And, with what happened with Jacob Blake, I can't say it enough. No one deserves to get shot in the back 7 times in front of their children, regardless of whether or not they were, complying with the officer's orders or not. That's just unnecessary. And, I listened to Doc Rivers talk about it and how, we love this country, but sometimes in the Black community, we feel like they don't love us back. And I thought those were powerful words. And I think athletes are taking the time to kind of speak out the right way. And we're not just here for entertainment, right? We're human beings. We have lives. We were part of that community. And many of us we're part of that community, embedded in it when we were growing up. So to see the outpour and the reaction to everything that's going on has been really, for me, it's been amazing to see because it's what we need.
Yeah, I'm curious, we have what's going on today. A lot of the NBA, well, all the NBA games obviously are canceled, at least temporarily. And some baseball games have been canceled, particularly the Milwaukee Brewers game. I'm just kind of a layperson, right? You're the athlete, you have the platform, you have the 2 million followers on Twitter and who knows how many on Instagram and all these other social platforms. So it's super easy, I think, Robert, for you to communicate with the masses. That's great, right? But for somebody like me, for example, I mean, I do have a platform with Win Daily, but maybe somebody that's, just your average Joe or your average Jane that wants to help, but maybe doesn't know how to. I mean, do you have any advice for that person? What can they do to kind of force the change?
Yeah, and I think that's where it starts, right? We talk about this all the time. Me as an individual, regardless of what my outreach is through the social media channels, I'm not going to be able to change the world on my own, right? So that's why I created the foundation and I speak out on these issues because I'm trying to just educate the masses about what's going on, about how they can help impact change, right? So a big thing that we do with the foundation is we want to be the foot soldiers, right? I put people in place to be able to get the funds in the right hands and do the right things with the money, because people are going to wake up on the daily basis and they're going to be like, man, I want to give. I want to help in some type of way. How can I get that done? Well, they don't have the time, right? They get up, they got their 9 to 5, they're busy, they got their kids, they got the after school things, they got the mom with the 4 kids going to the soccer games, right? Well, we want to be able to be those foot soldiers for you to say, all right, you don't have the time, but we do. If you want to give money, you want to make this world a better place for our kids and our future generations, our foundation is able to help you do that. We help military vets, right? A lot of people see me on Fixer Upper working with Chip and Joanna doing those things for the military veteran homes. We work with the underprivileged. We work with victims of abuse. And we want people to know that their money is actually making a positive impact, right? We're not going to take your money and ship it over to Croatia or Africa and you not know what's going on. We're not going to use your money to fill a payroll, right? We don't do what we do with the foundation because it's a way of life for us and how we make money. It's how we give back. It's how we want to make our communities a better place. So those types of people who don't know what to do, we want to be that for you. We want you to give and donate to us so that we can help you impact the world. And I think the thing that people lose sight of is, although I can't change the world by myself, if I'm trying to change the world for the better, that's a step in the right direction. And I think that's what you're seeing nowadays. People are just trying to educate. They're trying to give people a little bit of background to what has been going on for generations and generations so that they can step up and be a positive voice.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that's sort of a space, I think, in terms of getting the word out and getting information out, that there's not really a platform to talk about people like yourself and their foundations and things. Of course, you have your own platform, but we don't really talk about athletes, in my opinion, other than, when maybe bad stuff happens or maybe when it's actually pertaining to the athletic event itself. And so for me, what I want to do, I think what Win Daily wants to do, and of course we've contributed to the RG3 Foundation as well, and we plan to contribute more. We actually have just FYI, we have anybody who's listening, we have a raffle going on. If you follow the RG3 Foundation at RG3 Foundation and at Win Daily Sports, we're going to have a random draw for Robert Griffin III signed autographed football. So, you got to retweet the live stream for that and then follow the RG3 Foundation, Win Daily Sports. But my point in saying all of that is, I just wonder, for the people that maybe don't have something to donate, what can they do? Is it merely just kind of going to the foundation or to some of these foundations and just kind of doing their own research? I mean, what would be your recommendation there?
Yeah. So the first thing I would say is, I think we've all got $1, right? $1 laying around somewhere that we can donate. And the way that I try to envision in my mind and how we structure with the foundation is that if 1 million people give $1, that's $1 million, right? Yep. That $1 million is that's extremely impactful for each community and for the people that we would be helping in those communities. So we don't want people to think that when you think donation, you have to give, $1,000, $100. If you want to give $100,000, go for it, and we'll gladly accept that and use that. But if it's just $1, that's $1 going towards a positive cause. The people who have given that $1 or have given that $10 and they want to do more, you can contact our foundation through our email and figure out ways to be able to volunteer in the community. Obviously, I'm a Texas-born kid, and not born. I was born in Japan, actually, but I'm a Texas-raised kid, and we have our foundation center in Texas. It's based in Dallas, and then we're here in Baltimore, and I've got the executive director here in Baltimore, which is my wife, and we can help in this community as well. So if you reach out to us through the foundation website, I think it's the rg3foundation.org, we can help you and lead you in a direction to where you can help not only us, but also other foundations as well.
Nice. Robert, it's interesting because you mentioned the military and how your foundation specifically helps the military among other groups. And I'm curious because you're on an interesting platform with, my understanding is your mother and your father were Army sergeants, correct?
Yep.
And you kind of raised in what people might suggest is, a military background, military upbringing, things of that nature.
Oh, 100%.
So with that in mind, and knowing that your foundation also benefits the military among other social causes, do you find yourself sort of in almost a fortunate position because you sort of get to speak about the social change while coming from that military background? Because I think there's this misconception that, okay, well, you're either kneeling or you're not kneeling. You're either pro-military or you're anti-military. And you seem to be in a unique spot where you can, obviously, I think anybody who thinks about it can be pro on all of those levels. But do you find yourself in a unique spot in that regard?
Yeah, I do. And, I've said this before, but the people who are kneeling about social injustice in this country, it has nothing to do with the flag, right? Both of my parents were Army sergeants. My dad did 21 years. My mom did 13. I'm a military brat. I grew up in a military community in Copperas Cove, Texas. And everyone that I have talked to has no issue with guys kneeling to bring attention to the social injustices and inequality in our country right now. I think someone said it earlier today. I can't remember who it was, but they said it seems like sometimes we're just waiting for the next hashtag of what black person is going to get killed unjustly. And we don't want that to happen, right? Growing up in the military community, I did have friends who had family members who went over and fought in wars and did not come back. My own dad got stop lost, which anyone in the military community knows that's like, the worst thing that can happen when you get stop lost. He was about to retire and they stop lost him, which means he had to go do a tour in Afghanistan before he could get out. So, typically that's like the writing on the wall. You get stop lost, you go over, you don't come back. Well, I was fortunate enough that my dad did come back, and he got out as soon as he got back. And the sacrifices that, you know, not only the soldiers make, but the soldiers' families make to help this country be what it is, they're making those sacrifices so people can kneel, so they can bring attention to things that are not right. I think that's what makes our country so great. We're constantly evolving, constantly adapting, so that things that were okay 100 years ago aren't okay today. And one area where we're really lacking is in inequality in the social justice when it comes to the Black community. And I think that's what people have to understand. You know, I say Black Lives Matter, and it's not that all lives don't matter, but when it comes to human rights or inequality, it's not a piece of pie. It's not like if Black lives matter, these lives don't, right? If one house is on fire, you put that house's fire out. You don't go spray all the other houses. They're not on fire, right? So the Black community's house is on fire, and we got to take care of that. So me being a military brat, I am in a unique situation, a unique position, because I can kind of give people the perspective from both sides. People who don't have that military experience don't know what the soldiers feel, but I'm in that community and I know how they feel, and they're fine with it. They want it.
I don't want all that drama up here.
Yeah, that Ball family. That's a whole nother conversation. I don't want to dive too deep into that one. But we are here to talk about the 4-game NBA slate. We got Toronto and Brooklyn. We got the Denver Nuggets and the Utah Jazz. We got Boston against Philly, which hopefully that series is going to end pretty soon because it's been ugly. And we have the Clippers and Dallas to round it out, which has been my favorite series so far.